Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cha Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayantire Nashtapraye Shubhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtake. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 26, a description of the hellish planets, text number 9 onwards. So yesterday, the first hellish planet we talked about was Tamisra. And now comes the next brother of Tamisra, text 9. The destination of a person who slyly cheats another man and enjoys his wife and children is the hell known as Andhatamisra. There, his condition is exactly like that of a tree being chopped at its roots. Even before reaching Andhatamisra, the sinful living being is subjected to various extreme miseries. These afflictions are so severe that he loses his intelligence and sight. It is for this reason that learned sages call this hell Andhatamisra. So Andha means he loses his sight. Text. A person who accepts his body as his self works very hard day and night for money to maintain his body and the bodies of his wife and children. While working to maintain himself and his family, he may commit violence against other living entities. Such a person is forced to give up his body and his family at the time of death. When he suffers a reaction for his envy of other creatures, by being thrown into the hell called Rorav. So somebody will say, well, the person is just working hard to maintain his family, his body, his family. And yes, sometimes you commit violence when we're working hard. But no, not according to scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Yasyatma Buddhi Kunape Tridhatike. One who accepts this bodily bag of three elements, bile, mucus, and air, as his self, who has affinity for an intimate relationship with his wife and children, who considers his land worshipable, who takes baths in the rivers of the holy places of pilgrimage, but never takes advantage of those persons who are in actual knowledge. He is no better than an ass or a cow. There are two classes of men absorbed in the material concept of life. Out of ignorance, a man in the first class thinks his body to be his self, and therefore he is certainly like an animal. So when it says, so eva go khara, like an ass or a cow, not a cow in the sense that it's a sacred animal, but it's just like animal. The person in the second class, however, not only thinks his material body to be his, but also commits all kinds of sinful activities to maintain his body. He cheats everyone to acquire money for his family and himself, and he becomes envious of others without reason. Such a person is thrown into the hell known as Rorav. If one simply considers his body to be his self, as do the animals, he is not very sinful. However, if one needlessly commits sins to maintain his body, he is put into the hell known as Rorav. This is the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Although animals are certainly in the bodily concept of life, they do not commit any sins to maintain their bodies, mates, or offspring. Therefore, animals do not go to hell. However, when a human being acts enviously and cheats others to maintain his body, he is put into a hellish condition. And this is practically 99% of population in the world. They all consider the body to be self, and they work in a way, they commit violence against other living entities to make money, to maintain their status, their prosperity, their family. The next destination is Roro. Now, one thing we have to understand, that this destination that we are talking, this is sometimes if the person commits too many sins, that he has to be sent to hell to take care of all those sinful acts. But if he doesn't commit too many, if he commits only little and some pious activities, so then he is kept on earth. So he continues on with his next life, and he enjoys a little, he suffers a little, and then he carries on with his life. But if somebody is very, very sinful, so even Yamaraj thinks now what to do. If you just leave him on earth, he will be suffering tremendously, so many lifetimes. So let's shift him to Yamlok or whatever the Nark. And then, so all his sins will be wiped out quickly. See, Yamraj is also a Mahajan. Next canto, we'll read about Mahajans, 12 Mahajans. Mahajans means authorities. The authorities in self-realization, authorities in devotional life. So they are the real authorities. So Yamraji is an authority, and he knows the value of life. So it's not like everybody is just going to go to hell, and hell will be overcrowded. But anyway, next canto we'll read about first 3 chapters about Ajamil and how sinful he was, but how he was saved. But this is a 99% of population who is committing so many sinful activities. And this enviousness, when Shloka Shukdev Goswami says, when he is envious of other creatures, that also means those meat eaters. Basically, they are envious of other life forms, and for their own pleasure, they don't mind putting them through death, in fact, slaughter. Even if that slaughter is committed in name of religion, it is still a sin. Big sin. Text 11. In this life, an envious person commits violent acts against many living entities. Therefore, after his death, when he is taken to hell by Yamaraj, those living entities who are hurt by him appear as animals called Rurus to inflict very severe pain upon him. Learned scholars call this hell Roro, not generally seen in this world. The Ruru is more envious than a snake. Wow. According to Sridhar Swami, the Ruru is also known as Bhara Shringa. Srila Jiva Goswami confirms this in his Sandarbha. Thus, although Rurus are not seen in this world, their existence is confirmed in the Shastras. So, out of 8,400,000 species, we don't know most of them. So, Ruru is another kind of animal and inflicts severe pain on the person who has killed him. Text 12. Punishment in the hell called Maharoro. Now there is another one, Maharoro. There was Roro and now there is Maharoro. Is compulsory for a person who maintains his own body by hurting others. In this hell, Ruru animals known as Kravyad torment him and eat his flesh. The animalistic person who lives simply in the barley concept of life is not excused. He is put into the hell known as Maharoro and attacked by Ruru animals known as Kravyat. So, and the thing is, when he gets his flesh eaten by these Ruru animals, he doesn't die. He still has to suffer. So he cries, his but he doesn't die. Text 13. For the maintenance of their bodies and the satisfaction of their tongues, cruel persons cook poor animals and birds alive. Such persons are condemned even by man-eaters. In their next lives, they're carried by the Yamdutas to the hell known as Kumbhipak, where they are cooked in boiling oil. Kumbhipak. And they cook poor animals and birds alive. Not just cook. I mean, I've seen videos of some countries where they live fish, they have fried it, just fried the body of it, not the face. So the fish is still suffering, and then they serve it on the plate, and people are poking their forks into that suffering fish body and eating, and they're enjoying it. Gosh, I don't know what kind of enjoyment they would get. But this is the hell for them. Text 14. The killer of a Brahman is put into the hell known as Kala Sutra, which has a circumference of 80,000 miles, so 10,000 yojans, and which is made entirely of copper, heated from below by fire and from above by the scorching sun. The copper surface of this planet is extremely hot. Thus, a murderer of a Brahman suffers from being burned both internally and externally. Internally, he is burning with hunger and thirst, and externally, he is burning from the scorching heat of the sun and the fire beneath the copper surface. Therefore, he sometimes lies down, sometimes sits, sometimes stands, and sometimes runs here and there. He must suffer in this way for as many thousands of years as there are hairs on the body of an animal. So 80,000 miles, so 10,000 yojans of diameter of this planet with made of complete copper, hot copper, and somebody is kept on. Where is he going to go? And this is a killer of a Brahman. And can you imagine those Muslim rulers who had killed so many Brahmins in India? Some were killed, some were converted. What destination is awaiting them? Oh, what destination they must have gone to. Text 15. If a person deviates from the path of the Vedas in the absence of an emergency, so emergency is a different story if one deviates, but not, if not. The servants of Yamaraj put him into the hell called Asipatravan, where they beat him with whips. When he runs hither and thither, fleeing from the extreme pain on all sides, he runs into palm trees with leaves like sharpened swords. Thus injured all over his body and fainting at every step, he cries out, "Oh, what shall I do now? How shall I be saved?" This is how one suffers who deviates from the accepted religious principles. So this deviation is also not allowed. There is actually only one religious principle, dharmam tu saksham bhagavad pranitam. The only religious principle is to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Unfortunately, especially in this age of Kali, everyone is an atheist. People do not even believe in God, but to speak of following his words. The words Nija Veda Patha can also mean one's own set of religious principles. Formerly, there was only one Veda path, or the set of religious principles, but there are many now. It doesn't matter which set of religious principles one follows. The only injunction is that he must follow them strictly. An atheist or Gnostic is one who does not believe in the Vedas. However, even if one takes a different system of religion, according to this verse, he must follow the religious principles he has accepted. Whether one is a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian, he should follow his own religious principles. However, if one concocts his own religious path within his mind, or if one follows no religious principles at all, he is punished in the hell known as Asi Patravan. In other words, a human being must follow some religious principles. If he does not follow any religious principles, he is no better than an animal. Actually, that is a statement in Mahabharata. Dharmen hina pashubhir narana. Without religion, a man is like an animal. And now it is a fashion of being irreligious, or, oh, we don't believe in religion, we just believe in do good to others. Just follow any religion, that's all. Do good to others. Who says religion doesn't say good to do good to others? As Kali Yuga advances, people are becoming godless and taking up so-called secularism. They do not know the punishment awaiting them in Asi Patravan, as described in this verse. But those who don't have faith, they will not have faith in these words of Srimad Bhagavatam either. But whether they have faith or not, it's just like if I say I don't have faith in the traffic police, but as soon as I break the rule, they will come and give me a ticket. Whether I have faith or not, whether I believe in traffic police or not, or the traffic rules or not, hardly matters. If you break the law, you'll get the punishment. Text 16. In his next life, a sinful king or governmental representative. This is for all the government employees. I am also one of them. In his next life, a sinful king or governmental representative who punishes an innocent person or who inflicts corporal punishment upon a Brahman is taken by the Yamadutas to the hell named Sukramukha, where the most powerful assistants of Yamaraj crush him exactly as one crushes sugarcane to squeeze out the juice. The sinful living entity cries very pitiably and faints, just like an innocent man undergoing punishments. This is a result of punishing a faultless person. So all these government officials or sinful king who think that we can just punish somebody, get some bribe, get some more money, and we can enjoy and let our family enjoy, and this way I can have lots of property. Oh no. And what generally happens, especially in India, if I take a bribe or I do some cheating and get some money, maybe I get 5 lakh rupees this way. And I'll go to the temple and I'll do some donation, maybe of 100,000 rupees, and that's it. It will just neutralize my sin. But no, it doesn't neutralize anything. So government officials, yeah, it's a very, very responsible post. Responsible in the sense one is not supposed to just take advantage of general public. They're supposed to serve. That is called government servants, right? But if they don't, so how they get punished? Just like they also kind of crush or squeeze money out of innocent people. So their juice will be squeezed out, just like a sugar cane juice is. The sugar cane is squeezed to get the juice out. And many times, like lawyers and judges, they also punish innocent people, but somewhere they will pay. 617. By the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, low-grade living beings like bugs and mosquitoes suck the blood of human beings and other animals. Such insignificant creatures are unaware that their bites are painful to the human being. However, first-class human beings, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, and Vaishyas, are developed in consciousness, and therefore they know how painful it is to be killed. A human being endowed with knowledge certainly commits sin if he kills or torments insignificant creatures who have no discrimination. The Supreme Lord punishes such a man by putting him into the hell known as Andhakoop, where he is attacked by all the birds and beasts, reptiles, mosquitoes, lice, worms, flies, and any other creatures he tormented during his life. They attack him from all sides, robbing him of the pleasure of sleep. Unable to rest, he constantly wanders about in the darkness. Thus, in Andhakoop, his suffering is just like that of a creature in the lower species. From this very instructive verse, we learn that lower animals created by the laws of nature to disturb the human being are not subjected to punishment because the human being has developed consciousness. However, he cannot do anything against the principles of Varnashram Dharma without being condemned. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Chatur Varnayam Maya Srishtam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work ascribed to them, the four divisions of human society were created by me. Thus, all men should be divided into four classes, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and they should act according to their ordained regulations. They cannot deviate from their prescribed rules and regulations. One of these states that they should never trouble any animal, even those that disturb human beings. Although a tiger is not sinful if he attacks another animal and eats its flesh, if a man with developed consciousness does so, he must be punished. In other words, a human being who does not use his developed consciousness, but instead acts like an animal, surely undergoes punishment in many different hells. So, even human beings, even if they torment the lower lives, lower creatures, they'll get punished. Just like in India, it's well here also, but in India it's very much in fashion to get that racket to kill the mosquitoes, zap them with the electric shock. So now we know what's going to happen. So people say, oh, if we don't kill them, they will bite us and they'll make us sick or this or that. Well, we can make some arrangements to keep them away, but we don't have to kill them. And many times ladies ask this question, or what if there are some cockroaches in the kitchen and we have to spray that hit on them to kill them? Otherwise, we will get sick. But we can. There's so many products available that by smelling them, they run away. So we don't have to kill them. Of course, if somebody attacks, it's okay to kill. Like there's a story about Prabhupada. Once Shuddhakirti Prabhu was massaging Prabhupada and at night, and he would lay down this mosquito net in which under mosquito net around Prabhupada's bed, and Prabhupada would be lying and he would also get into the mosquito net on the bed and he would massage Prabhupada. But then Prabhupada saw a mosquito came in, a mosquito net, when Shuddhakirti entered. And he flew and he sat on Prabhupada's body. So Prabhupada said, now he's attacking, now you can kill him. Before that, he didn't say you can kill him. So Prabhupada said, now he's attacking, now you can kill him. So Shuddhakirti Prabhu, what he did with both palms, he just clapped on that mosquito, and mosquito fell down on the ground. And he thought mosquito had died. And Prabhupada looked at it and kept on looking at that mosquito. And after a while, the mosquito just got up and flew away. And Prabhupada said, oh, happy he didn't die. So that's the vision of a devotee. He sees life everywhere. Everybody is living. Mosquitoes or ants or worms or flies, they all are living entities. It just, we don't have that kind of compassion towards every life form. But the punishment is there, definitely there. Anyway, I think we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Manta.
Prabhuji, Roar of Nrk का तो आता है गरुड़ पुराण में.
Okay.
हाँ, और जो कनेक्शन है वो मुझे लगता है बिकॉज सबको फैमिली के साथ बहुत अटैचमेंट रहता है. वो एक पार्ट बहुत ज्यादा किसी को काफी उन्होंने बहुत ज्यादा एक्सप्लेन किया. और because वो है फैमिली अटैचमेंट एंड वाइफ वो कनेक्शन मुझे लगता है जो सब कुछ गरुड़ पुराण को रखने का मतलब यही है कि उसमें जो रॉड आता है वो जस्ट मैसेज कैसे हम लोगों को लाइफ बिताना चाहिए.
बट आइडिया तो यही है, स्क्रिप्चर्स का आइडिया तो यही है, बट वी डोंट फॉलो. दैट्स अ प्रॉब्लम.
और आधे से ज्यादा लोग उसको अटेंड ही नहीं करते प्रभु जी, इसलिए क्योंकि उनको लगता है कि जो चला गया ही उसका है.
I know.
और जबकि होना ये चाहिए था जो रह गया वो लोग सुने अपनी लाइफ कैसे बिताते हैं. होता उल्टा ही है. सब लोगों के डेथ हुई है उनके लिए गरुड़ पुराण.
हाँ, ये बात एकदम सही है, बट तभी तो प्रीचिंग चाहिए, बहुत प्रीचिंग चाहिए.
I know. Nobody wants to listen to it. Especially डेथ पे भी नहीं आते हैं सुनने के लिए. हमारे अपने मेरे घर में जब मेरी डेथ हुई थी तो हार्डली यानी सबको बोल के आई हूँ मैंने रखा हुआ है, आप आइएगा 3 से 4.
कोई नहीं, यही तो हमें करना है. और क्या करना है. यही तो प्रभुपाद ने हमें दिया काम.
डराना है प्रभु. हरे कृष्ण.
Plenty of echo.
Mirza is listening on the other phone. So echo must be less.
बहुत ज्यादा echo है. बहुत ज्यादा echo. हरि बोल.
हरि बोल.
Yes, Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
मैं बोला डराना
अशोक
काम है
ब्रो,
हमारा।
बहुत ज्यादा एको है।
चलिए मैं कल बात करता हूँ, अभी तो पीछे से बंद नहीं किया उसने। आई विल टॉक।
ओके ओके, हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you all very much. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण। जय श्री